It's often said that to survive in the world of politics you need a tough skin, but to be a woman politician in the Middle East, well, one might say you actually need a suit of armour. And one person who knows that all too well is Jordanian parliamentarian Hind Al-Fayez. She became an internet sensation in December 2014 when a male colleague yelled at her to sit down. It was captured on video and it went viral. Hind Al-Fayez joins me today. Hind, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, going back to that event in December 2014, how angry were you at the time?
It's strange to say that the issue that I was handling under the dome that day, it was way beyond dividing men from women. I was defending the pan-Arab. And unfortunately, my colleague didn't accept the idea that I was defending it in a very loud voice, in a voice that is filled with freedom expression. And he tried by all means to ask me to sit, and he did it several times. And believe it or not, I wasn't even listening to him. You know, when you believe in something, when you have a goal, you don't look around you, and especially the obstacles, especially the negativity, you don't see that.
He also was cursing the female quota, wasn't he?
He was. After that incident, instantly he started screaming and saying, I wish that we don't have female quota. And so I answered him back instantly that my way of winning through the election through the female quota is much more honorable and something to be proud than your way and the way you want. It's not that easy for you as a woman in that part of the world to convince people to vote for you, to convince people to think that women can lead, women can change, women can do a lot. And I mentioned earlier, I really didn't hear his voice, and that is the message that I want women to learn. Don't listen to negative voices. If you don't have positive voices around you, just listen to the voice inside of you.
Now, there's a 10% female quota in the Jordanian parliament, and it certainly helped you to get elected, but I imagine, in your opinion, it certainly doesn't go far enough.
We need to focus, other than the positive parity, we have a negative parity, which, as you see, that the upper house, the Senate that are appointed by the king, you find a small percentage of women. Out of 75 senates, there are 8 women that are appointed by the king. Also in the ministries, you find 3 female ministers out of 21 ministers. And not to mention the universities, 70% of the students are female, while the university stakeholders, 95% are men and 5% are women. So what's the message that we're giving to our children is that when you look at the TV, you see the decision makers are only men, even the appointed ones. So is there a real political will to support and to empower women?
So what needs to be done?
It first starts with us as parliamentarians. I suppose that we need to decrease the gap between us and the people. People, they need to believe that when we are in the high positions, we can do something, we can change. I believe that it starts from the people that get the high positions. Don't alienate yourself from the rest of the people. Don't think that as long as you got this position, you are not entitled to work harder and harder. The more you get higher, the more burden you have on your shoulders, which is the first thing are the constituents that believes in you. Prove that they sacrifice by voting for women. And some women really got beaten among my constituents for voting for me by their husbands, by their neighbors. And now they're proud, saying it loud, we voted for her, and she's the one who's defending us.
And finally, it's 2056. The baby girl that was born in 2016 is now 40 years old. She wants to enter politics. What sort of world would you hope would exist by then?
They always say, you're in the third world, no matter what you do, nothing is going to happen. I say, look at the history of France, look at the history of America, lots of revolution, and by the end of the day, they achieved a lot. So I don't mind for our generation to be the generation that will give sacrifices for the sake of the future generation to find a flourishing life. And this is our mission. And I believe that in the next 10 years, there will be an elected prime minister, female elected prime minister in Jordan, if we keep up the good work that we're doing now.
In health prayers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.